Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be doing a video talking about my top 10 worst characters of 2018. Sorry about that. There's a lot of characters we had this year, and I feel like it is hard to really say what the worst ones are. I mean, again, this is my personal opinion. Now, there was someone who wasn't too happy with my list in my top 10 characters. Again, this is my opinion. I know that people are different and people have different opinions. And sometimes, like, well-known characters work out really well because I'm glad that they're added in the game and they're well-known characters. So they do they do have, like, a kind of advantage to these lesser-known characters, which is unfair, but it's just how it goes. So anyway, we're gonna start this video off doing some dishonorable mentions. So let's get into it. So the first dishonorable mention goes to all the young characters. Now, I haven't put any of them on the list, but I do want to say I have a special distaste for the young characters. So this is Teenage Homer, Young Marge, Young Barney, Young Auntie Ziff, and Young Grandpa. I'm not really happy with any of these. The main reason is I think they should be skins, and I'm really for them being skins because it makes a lot of sense for them to be. I don't want two grandpas walking around Springfield. It's just stupid, in my opinion. The Artie Ziff one doesn't look anything different to the normal Artie Ziff. They look practically the same. Teenage Homer, like, even the names are inconsistent. Like, it's Teenage Homer, but it's Young Marge. Like, that kind of annoys me as well. The names are inconsistent. I feel like, yeah, Young Homer's a cool that would make a really, really cool costume, but it's not a costume, so it's just annoying. And then, like, yeah, I mean, they have cool tasks and stuff, so I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and this is something they're doing, so at least they're being consistent with it, so I didn't put on my list for that reason. Anyway, that's my first dishonorable mention. My second goes to Sven-Gully. Now, the reason that Sven-Gully didn't make the list is I think he's a really, really cool character, originally he was, of course, a super premium item, so you had to purchase donuts to get him, and that's really annoying, and if that was the only case, he would make this list. However, when Black Friday / Thanksgiving came along, they added him in a mystery box, and you can buy him in a mystery box for a certain amount of donuts. So he became donuts eventually. So I think for that reason, he doesn't quite make my list because he's not exclusively super premium. You could have got him later on, which I'm okay with them doing that. Like, I'm okay with them making super premium characters as long as they become available for donuts later on. Like, I still wouldn't be thrilled about it, of course, but it would make it a little less as bad. The next dishonorable mention goes to Diane. I just thought boring character, not really anything too special about her. I just thought she was really boring, and I thought questline was boring. I thought the character itself was boring, and also Jeremy. It's the same thing. They're both characters that came in the Itchy and Scratchy event. I just thought they were a little bit boring, but they didn't quite make my actual top 10 list because I don't think. Yeah, they were a little bit boring, but they weren't stupidly annoying, so yeah, they didn't quite make my list for that reason. Anyway, let's get into the actual list. So number 10 goes to Lloyd. So yeah, Lloyd was one of the first characters we got. He was one of the first 3. The main reason I'm putting him on there, again, is the same sort of reason with Diane and Jeremy. I just think he's pretty boring. I don't think there's anything too special about him. Now, also, I just don't really get why they added him in the book stops here. He didn't really seem to fit. Like, he seems like he would have been a better fit for Bot Royale. And I'm not sure if that was what they were going for. Like, they gave him us for the book stops here to kind of ease us into Bot Royale or something like that. But I feel like the placement of where he was added was really dumb. I think the character itself is pretty boring. He doesn't have anything particularly interesting. His questline wasn't particularly that exciting. And I just don't really have anything to say. Like, there's nothing that amazes me about this character. He looks boring. He is boring. Like, there's nothing really much more to say. I just don't think there's anything too special about him. Anyway, so that's Lloyd. And then number 9 goes to Geoffrey Chaucer and Oscar Wilde. So yeah, Geoffrey and Oscar Wilde. Yeah, I mean, the reason I'm putting these guys here is, okay, first of all, they were ghosts, which I wasn't too happy with. Now, of course, they came in the Springfield Jobs event. I feel like they felt a little bit out of place because they were both 2 ghosts. And I know that they are 2 real-life people. Of course, Oscar Wilde and Geoffrey Chaucer are real-life people. They're real-life. Geoffrey Chaucer's a poet. Oscar Wilde, What was Oscar Wilde? I know the person, but like, yeah, he was a poet as well. Yeah. Yeah. So there were two poets. One was an Irish poet. Oscar Wilde's an Irish poet. So there were two British poets, basically, and they were given us two in the game, but I just don't think there was anything too interesting about them. The fact that they were ghosts kind of put me off. They were both premium as well, which wasn't amazing. And their quest lines and tasks were nothing. They were passable, honestly. So they just, to me, they just didn't feel right, and I didn't really like them. Now, if they were added in Halloween, I guess that could have been different. Like, I wouldn't mind to have, like, a celebrity Halloween. That could be pretty cool, where we get, like, celebrities, well, not celebrities, but figures, historical figures. Like, we could get, like, a Shakespeare zombie and a George Washington zombie. Like, that could be really interesting, but, yeah, I think, overall, I wasn't too happy with these two guys. I just think it was really, really out of place. I thought they didn't have anything too interesting about them, and, yeah, they were premium when they probably shouldn't have been, because they really weren't worth the donuts at all. Anyway, number 8 goes to Peter and Peter. So yeah, another character combo. So this is again from the Bot Royale event. And yeah, the reason I don't particularly like these two characters is they, in the episode, as far as I can tell, they were spoof characters. And again, because of course they were a spoof on Peter from the Hunger Games. And I just don't think there's anything too... Again, nothing interesting about them, and that's the thing for most of these characters. It really goes down to, or at least the first 5, it really goes down to, like, there really isn't anything interesting about these characters at all. I don't think the questline was very good. I think they look okay, I guess. They look kind of cool, but yeah, there just isn't really anything for them. They weren't, they didn't really do much for the event. They were just kind of thrown in, and I just don't really care for them at all. Anyway, number 7 goes to the Ice Bishop of Beverly Hills. So the one redeeming factor about this character is he looks cool as hell. I'll give him that. He does look pretty cool. But he was like a no-name character. He wasn't like, he didn't have any, he probably should have been an NPC if anything. He didn't really do anything, he didn't do much in the episode, at least from what I can remember. And again, it comes down to boring. He was just boring me. He just bored me. He didn't have anything interesting with his quest line. I don't think his tasks was very interesting. I don't think the character itself is very interesting. Of course, he made sense to go in the Bot Royale like Peter and Peter did. Like, they fitted that. Like, they fitted the event. It's why they're above Lloyd and Joffrey, Chaucer, and Oscar Wilde. That's the reason they're above them, because at least they fitted the event. But yeah, I just didn't really think there was anything particularly interesting with this character either, as well as Peter and Peter. So yeah. And then number 6 goes to the Cayman Island Banker. Yeah, and so he came in the teaser event for Itchy and Scratchy Land, which was called Bart the Frink. Now, this based off the episode where Krusty fakes his own death, and this character is literally in one scene, like one cutaway joke, really. He's he's not even a big character at all. He's for like one joke. So the fact that they chose him as the random character, as the teaser character, kind of annoyed me. Again, he was completely out of place, and he's also he's really expensive. He's like 100 donuts. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of donuts for a character like this. Like, I feel like characters, like big time characters like Sarah Wiggum and stuff like that, and Scratchy, I think it's fair that they're more donuts. Like, when they're bigger characters, like these smaller characters should be less donuts because people don't want them as much. Like, I would pick Sarah Wiggum any day over the Cayman Island Banker. Like, he doesn't even have a name. Like, he's just literally called the Cayman Island Banker. Yeah, I feel like the character, there was much better choices for Itchy and Scratchy Land. I don't think the character has anything particularly interesting with him either. His quest line's pretty bland, and his tasks are pretty bland. Again, he was literally a character from one tiny scene, and I don't think he really deserved to be the teaser character. Like, a good teaser character, for example, if I'm giving an example of a good teaser character, is like the fortune teller that we got for the Treehouse of Horror. I thought that was a really good teaser character to get, because she's not huge, but she's at least had a few scenes. Like, she had a few scenes where she talked a bit and she interacted with Elisa, so there's a lot you can do with that. But the Cayman Island Bankers really didn't do that, and I don't think he wasn't as connected to Itchy and Scratchy Land as I would have wanted. So yeah, he gets number 6. And then number 5 goes to Hans McMahon. So yeah, I almost forget that Hans McMahon even came in Bart Royale. So he was a Bart Royale character. I I forgot about him. I was looking through all the characters when I was doing this list. I completely forgot about Hans McMahon, which proves my point. He's very forgettable. Like, I forgot about him. Now, he is his own character, which is so dumb. It should be a costume. And this one even annoys me even more, because this costume, if this was a costume, because it's super premium, it probably wouldn't have made my list. But say if this was a costume added in the event and it wasn't super premium, it was just premium, or if it was free, this costume could be a good contender for the winner of costume, because if this was a costume, it'd be awesome. It looks so cool. But the fact that it's a character and the fact that it's super premium means that it's on the worst list. It annoys me. Looks wise, it's awesome. I think the questline and tasks aren't particularly great. They're very mediocre. But again, this comes down to the fact that it's super premium and the fact that it should be a costume. So that's the reason it's number 5. And then number 4 goes to Mars Buckler. So yeah, Mars Buckler. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Again, it's another super premium thing. And yeah, I'm putting super premium things as... I'm putting a lot of super premium things on this list because I really don't like it, and I think it's a legitimate reason to hate the character is if it's super premium, because the price does matter at the end of the day. My problem with Mars Bruckler is, yeah, she was related to the Itchy and Scratchy Land event. Of course, she was first seen. I think she was first seen in the Itchy and Scratchy event. Of course, it is Cletus's mother, so that kind of puts her above some characters, because it is, it's an okay character, but I don't think there's anything particularly interesting about her. I feel like she has that task where she scrolls through the dumpster, like it's a complete rehash of Cletus's task. And I didn't think her questline was too interesting either. It was okay. She looks pretty vile, because she is pretty vile. But yeah, I just didn't think there was anything too exciting about her, and I think her being super premium wasn't a very good thing. So yeah, she gets number 4. And then number 3 goes to Angel Lisa. Okay, and the reason that I've put Angel Lisa above Mar and Hans McMahon is because there's a lot of reasons. First of all, it's the first final prize we get in the Christmas event, and to have this as the first final prize is so bad. It's just an awful first final prize. This is the first thing we earn, the major thing we earn. It's pathetic. It's a pathetic character. It should be a costume for a starter. There's absolutely no reason why it isn't. And to have so we have another Lisa in the game now as well, which is just so dumb. And I think it's boring as well. It has no interesting tasks. The questline is boring. I just don't like the character at all. I mean, it would be a bad costume. It would be a bad costume if it was a costume, but it should at least be a costume. So that's why the reason I'm putting it above that, because at least the other stuff is it's super premium, but at least it's a unique character. I mean, Hans McMahon looks really, really cool, so I didn't put that as high. But yeah, I don't think Angel Lisa even looks cool, so there's no redeeming qualities to Angel Lisa. I just hate the character overall, 100%. I hate it. Number 2 goes to Witch. So yeah, another super premium character, but this one isn't even rememberable. This is she doesn't even have she's not even called the Witch. She's just called Witch. Come on. And so nothing special about her at all. Her quests are bland. Her tasks are bland. She's another witch. She's a carbon copy of every other witch we've got in the game before, pretty much. There's nothing interesting about her, and she's super premium, so she gets number 2. I mean, there's no other reason to put her here. You guys know the reason. And plus, it's a Halloween thing, and I've really got a distaste for Halloween. I am the Grinch who stole Halloween. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to that number 1. You guys probably know what it is, but can we have that drum roll? So, number 1 goes to Hot Flash. So, why am I putting Hot Flash? So, there's multiple reasons. So, first of all, price. Too expensive. It was 100 donuts for this character. And yeah, it took part in the mini-event. It doesn't matter. If the character takes part in the mini-event, then make it 10 more donuts more expensive. Don't make it way more expensive. Just make it 10 donuts more. A character's normally 70, 80 donuts, 90 donuts sometimes. I guess that would make it 100 donuts, but no, I feel like most characters on their own should be 70 donuts, and then if they are involved with the event, they should be 80 donuts. I think that would be a fair price, but yeah, She wasn't. She was very overpriced. Second of all, she should be a goddamn costume for Alice Glick. Why didn't they just give us Alice Glick in that superheroes event? If they were going to make such a big deal out of the Defenders, look, and they could have just given us Early Bird instead. Give us the costume for Jasper instead, and then leave Hot Flash till next year. Because I feel like they're going to do that anyway, because they haven't given us Early Bird, so I feel like they're going to do that anyway. If that is their plan, then it's going to make me hate this character even more, because they could have just given us Early Bird this year, and then just waited for Hot Flash to be next year, because they clearly plan ahead, so they knew that they were going to add Alice Glick eventually into the game when 2019 came along. So yeah, it should be a costume for Alice Glick, but it's not. Also, it should have they could have just added Alice Glick and then the costume. That would have been great, or added it as a combo. That would have been great, and you could have done both. There's so many things they could have done. I think the quest lines ain't too great either. It's like, it looks okay. I think that's the only redeeming factor of this costume, is it looks pretty cool, but I feel like, and it just should be a costume. There's no reason, and the fact that they gave us this before they gave us the character is really annoying too. It's like they gave us, like, you know, it's like giving us Devil Flanders before we get Flanders. Like, it's just dumb. It really is. It's just so dumb. And also, it was a character. It was the only premium character in the worst mini event we got all year. And the free character was awful. Like, so the free character, well, wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. Like, Everyman isn't a great character. Very bland character, and nothing too exciting about him. He didn't quite make this list, but he would have been like 15 or 16, but because he's not great himself. But at least he's free. But Hot Flash was the premium character, and it wasn't even redeeming, so it made the whole event awful. Like, if they gave us Alice Glick and a costume, it would have made the event a little bit better, in my opinion, but they didn't. So this costume, in my opinion, is just the worst all round this year. I don't like anything of it, so yeah, it gets worse. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please tell me your thoughts on what you think the worst costume is of this year, and yeah, I'll see what you guys say. So yeah, give me your list. That's my list. It is my opinion, so if you disagree, that's completely fine. I hope you enjoyed anyway. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.